all for innovation. I am all for progress. But I really just think that we are trusting these tech billionaires a little bit too much. We put in our faith in these tech billionaires a little bit too much. The government is giving these tech billionaires a little too much money. Investors, Silicon Valley, everybody is giving billions of dollars away that could be used on other things a little bit too much. Here's my only philosophy and my problem with that. It's not that the tech or the progress that we're looking to make is bad. It's the people or the products and the things that are making these things are, not to say that they're bad people, but the incentive that they typically have to not tell the truth or to fake progress is too high. And I really, 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 really believe that nobody is being held accountable enough. Yes, people get thrown into prison. Yes, people go to jail, and people do all of these sorts of things. These types of things happen. If we look back to something like Theranos, how she ended up having, faking the whole like prick in the finger and being able to detect cancer with just like a prick of a finger. Those sorts of things happen, and she ended up going to jail. But guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's happening right now? She's coming back to make a comeback and create something else, whatever that may be. She's planning at least to make a comeback. These types of things happen. WeWork. We all know about WeWork. Think about WeWork. That's just pretty bad. Like the way that we give away a lot of money to fake progress is an indication not only of bad incentives, but where we are in the hype cycle of just like technology and tech being the savior. I am all for research and development and science, and I believe in God more than I believe in science. So let me put that out there for you. For just first and foremost, a lot of things in science are just kind of like contrary to what the word says, and I'm not for that. I'm not for that. But I do believe that science does explain a lot of the things that God has created, and there are things that we are able to do because of certain elements and certain things that God has put on the earth for us to combine and make into something better. But where things get convoluted is when we start to manufacture or go outside of those things. Now, there were times, even in biblical times, before we were scattered and everybody didn't have one language anymore. There were times where they were able to build these things, and the Lord looked down and said, man, if they actually put all of their mind and all of their soul into certain things, they are going to be able to do everything that they need to do. So it came down and scattered. They were trying to build a tower all the way up to the Tower of Babel. Everybody knows about that story, probably more than likely. But I believe that human beings do have unlimited potential in a sense. But I also believe that it typically comes, that unlimited potential typically comes in unexpected ways. It comes when we least expect it, not when the incentive is so high, not when the incentive is so high that it's more beneficial to fake things than it is for them to be real. One example that I am really thinking about right now is a lot of the cloning, and I know you can clone a lot of things and do all these sorts of things, and a lot of things like the flying cars and just kind of seeing a lot of different technologies and things like that. I think that if we are not careful, even let me even just touch on AI for a little bit. If we are not careful in who we promote, what companies we give the most money to, because I'm only saying this because it would seem to me that only the flashier companies or the ones that tout accomplishments without ever really achieving them get the most money. Now, this is speculation. I don't have the data to back this up. If you want some data, I mean, that's totally fine. I don't have any to back this up, but if you want some data, you can go, just try to look and find it if you like. I don't have any, but what I am tired of seeing is we create these bubbles, we create these hype cycles, and everybody gets on board. All of the money goes into these things. The thing crashes, and at the end of the day, the only person that gets the brunt of the chaos or the brunt of the results of the crash is the consumer. And so what happens is everybody just gets to walk away and say, well, we try our best to avoid these types of things, when in actuality the same thing continues to happen over and over again. The same signals present themselves over and over again. Yet we do it again and everybody goes free again. We may lock up one person, two person, three persons, but the overall effect of it is felt on the consumer. The person that is, this is why you have people, some people like Ralph Nader. If anybody knows Ralph Nader, he was a heavy pioneer in consumer protection and making sure that people got great products versus just companies that are incentivized to do things quickly and do things to affect to help their bottom line. We need more people that are more passionate about not the bottom line. And I'm not against people making money for the value that they bring. I want you to become a billionaire for the value you bring. I don't want you to siphon money, fake results, and then everybody else has to feel when it doesn't work, when the fake results don't stop being effective. I'm not saying we have to stop trusting these tech nerds that are like, oh, I just love the thing. I'm like, guys, from a human perspective, a lot of these people are being pushed in positions that, or they came from they're coming from a place of, I never had to, I have, or I never was until I am now. And they are not wanting to lose that position. Guess who tends to feel the brunt of everything that's taking place? The consumer. So at the end of the day, we have to put ourselves in a position to not be taken advantage of by a lot of these influencer tech guys. They're more influencers than they are tech people, and people who actually have technologies that will push the world forward. We haven't seen a real great technology probably since the electricity, or maybe the iPhone or the car. I'll give the car, the plane, electricity, and the iPhone. Maybe the internet. But the internet is was kind of a net negative if we see how we actually use the internet for now. Social media is just kind of like e-commerce is the only net positive of the internet. If we really think about it, nobody thinks about that. Think about it. E-commerce is the only net positive because we can now, things that we had to drive or have delivered in, or we didn't really have access to. Now we have access to them. We don't have to go to China or these sorts of places to pick up things. Now we can order from China all the way in the US. So just be watchful of the technologies that we believe in. I just think that is super, super important. And if we don't do that, then we're going to continue to get these fake narratives that are pushed on us. And then we are the only ones that get the brunt. We just get a higher cost of living or a higher cost of a product that's supposed to improve our lives when actually the diminishing returns are the actually what's taking place versus, what's positive. But that's all I got.